Capital News tonight. Dr. Reginald Mengi to be laid to rest in Machame on Thursday. International search continues in Kenya for kidnapped doctors from Cuba. And in sports, Simba now 5 points behind Yanga after win against Mbeya City. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. The body of the former chairman of IPP Group of Companies, Dr. Reginald Mengi, is expected to arrive in the country on Monday and who will later be buried at his home in Kilimanjaro region.
Will be preserved in Lugalo Hospital, after which mourners will go back home. The body will be taken to Karimjee Hall on Tuesday, where his wake will take place, after which the body will be returned here. On Wednesday, the body will be flown to Kilimanjaro Airport, after which it will be taken to Machame. The burial will take place on Thursday.
Various political leaders who arrived at Dr. Mengi's home have said that the death of Dr. Mengi is a big blow, as he will be remembered for many things, especially for being selfless.
Baba huyu ameweza katika maisha yake.
Dr. Mengi, in his lifetime, he's been able to fight for and preserve humanity and dignity and rights of people with disability.
Dr.
Mengi's passing has affected all of us because he worked with people across the board, those who needed his help. When he could, he facilitated that. He will be remembered for his big contribution. I was shocked when I heard about his passing. Our condolences is not just to the family, as Honorable Mengi was a friend to every Tanzania, a friend to all of us.
Alikuwa ni rafiki wa makundi yote.
The late Dr. Reginald Mengi has been listed as the person who brought about development to poor families in his village Kisereni by starting a special system to build them houses and important social needs.
This is very sad. It's like a big tree has fallen down. We relied on him in this village. He has done so much. He cared for the poor, especially for orphans living in poor circumstances. He started a system where they could get sugar, rice and other items during the cold season. We've received news of his passing with great sadness because Father cared for people. He cared for those in need. His passing has affected a lot of people. He's helped many schools too. For the young people of Machame, Dr. Mengi was a very important figure to us because he invested in schools and hospitals as well as in electricity. This is a big blow to us because he cared for development and was self-driven. He came from here, yet he succeeded.
The Parliament of Tanzania has joined the President Dr. John Magufuli, the family and all Tanzanians in mourning the death of the former executive chairman of IPP, Dr. Reginald Mengi.
Mengi katika maisha yake alipata tuzo nyingi za kitaifa na kimataifa.
Dr. Mengi received many international accolades during his time. He was known for his big contribution towards community relief. He contributed a lot, too, towards construction of mosques. He gave so much to the poor and the needy, the disabled. He had a big contribution towards medical care for patients suffering from various ailments, without forgetting heart patients. Just recently, Dr. Mengi contributed 50 million to the National Assembly towards a project started by women members to build washrooms, facilities for girls.
In another development, the Parliament that was meeting for the 15th day of the 20th session continued today with MPs debating the estimated expenditure and projected revenue of the Ministry of Water.
We should focus on shallow wells for rural areas because a deep well costs about 300 to 400 million, which could drill up to 15 shallow wells. In my constituency, I've discovered that if you are to drill a deep well, only it benefits one village, but costs 400 million. We ask the government to invest in water infrastructure so the problems regarding water for urban and rural areas can be resolved.
Following the death of the executive chairman of IPP Group of Companies, Dr. Reginald Mengi, some people living with disabilities from institutions and various other groups have expressed profound sadness over the news. They also say that they have lost someone who was close to the disabled community, someone who valued them enough to ensure that they change their thinking and attitude.
We were very shocked because we know how big of a friend Dr. Mengi has been to us, people with disabilities. I think the only person who showed great love to the disabled community was him, and he pushed us to see whether the disabled will be able to get their rights and live like any other person in this society. We were staying with him and ate with him. Very few people have hearts like he had for so many of the disadvantaged, especially us, the disabled community. For us people with disabilities, it is a very huge blow because Dr. Reginald Mengi devoted a large percentage of his life to ensuring that the disabled come to be like him in terms of ownership and capacity building. I was very touched when I was watching the television yesterday. Early in the morning, they were telling me that Dr. Mengi has died, which made me very sad. May God rest his soul in peace. So even I have been touched by his death because he has done a lot of things in service to all, as he provided to all kinds of people, including us. I'm also very sad. It's just that I have nothing else to do.
The President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. John Pombe Magufuli, has given Tanzania Commission for Universities, TCU, to provide answers to the request by Mbeya University of Science and Technology to begin a new engineering course on fixing medical equipment, which they requested since 2015 but have never gotten a response to. President Magufuli gave the directive when speaking to higher learning students in a meeting held at the university in Mbeya, where he also gave 5 billion shillings for the construction of dormitories at the school so as to improve the students' learning environment.
In Tanzania program, we will be supporting the media sector in Tanzania. We will spend 7.8 billion Tanzanian shillings to improve the media environment.
The government of Tanzania and the German Development Bank KfW through the environmental organization Green Climate Fund has signed an aid and project implementation contract from Simiyu region that cost over 330 billion shillings. The permanent secretary in the Ministry of Finance and Planning, Dr. James, revealed that the districts that will benefit from the project include Bariadi, Itilima, Miatu, Busega, as well as Maswa, and that the project will go and help draw water from Lake Victoria, benefiting Simiyu region.
This aid is for one project to pump water from Lake Victoria to Simiyu and in the districts mentioned. Euro 102 million, equivalent to 265 billion. Tanzania is the first country in Africa to receive aid of this magnitude.
think the most important message today is that this project hopefully will make a big change to the people in Simuyu. And we are talking about a population of almost 500,000 people. That means 500,000 people. And hopefully being able to change the life of small-scale farmers, of women, of children. I think this is the biggest message today. It's an ambitious project that we will be implementing together with the Ministry of Water. As was said, its KfW role will be to administer the funds of the Green Climate Fund and from the German contribution.
The Minister of Land, Housing and Human Settlement Development, William Lukuvi, has given a directive for an investment company who had been prevented from a long time from engaging in investment activities to officially begin so as once. This comes after 10 villages agreed to set aside an area of 10,000 acres for the investment company, the Morogoro Sugar Company, to begin its work.
I would like to say that once the factory has been built, it will have the capacity to produce 90,000 tons of sugar, which is not a small achievement. Regarding that other issue, I would like to tell you, district leaders, that since you have granted permission to the sugar company to engage in its activities, then, for my part, I totally agree with you, and so the Morogoro Sugar Company can begin its early investment activities at once. Lukuvi Ardhi Mwekezaji, Inset 2, an official. I would like to announce that with the setting up of this sugar factory, we will be able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. The first bird that will be killed is that with the construction of this sugar factory, we will be able to further advance the government's goal of industrializing the economy.
The lack of tarmac road entering into Liwale district in the region has caused their employees to live in a difficult environment, including an increase in the cost of living as well as lack of good prices for their crops, as the roads are impassable, especially during this rainy season.
I would like to say that there is no road here. In fact, I must mention that no car can even pass here. I would like to appeal to the government to help us repair this road. I left my home at 4 a.m. in the night and walked a very long way until I arrived here at 8:30 a.m. in the morning. I must say that I did all of this just in order to be able to communicate with my children and to tell them that I was sick. I would like to say that the road coming from Nachingwea to here in Liwale is not good. I must say that this road is especially poor during the rainy season. Plus, I would like to mention that the road coming from Kilwa to here in Liwale is also not good. Despite that, I would like to say that the government has plans to repair both roads to a standard which has never been seen before.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows shortly. And in international news, 3 weeks after the kidnapping of doctors from Cuba who were working in the north end of Kenya by Al-Shabaab militias, the government of Kenya, through its Minister of Foreign Affairs, Monica Juma, has said that efforts to find the doctors are ongoing.
We condemn in strongest terms any terror acts like kidnapping of 2 doctors from Cuba, because even in war, doctors are unlikely to be kidnapped because of the services that they offer to people. We are assuring Kenyans that the operation of searching for the doctors is ongoing, and we believe that they shall be found and returned safely.
that we are hopeful that we get.
The preparatory meeting for the second session of the Pan-African Parliament has been held today at the headquarters in Midrand, Johannesburg, South Africa.
With South Africa and in the UK is a commitment to democratic institutions, which in the end are the best way for stability.
Now, the Bank of Burundi has placed 500, 2,500 and 10,000 francs notes with new, stronger and more resilient ones. This was said by the bank's governor, who revealed that the new notes have begun to be used since May 2nd, and the old notes will only be used for 3 months.
In the process of providing durable notes which are difficult to duplicate, the Bank of Burundi is launching new notes of 500, 2,000, 5,000 and 10,000 francs, which have been introduced to circulation as of 2nd of May. Materials and signs used in the notes have been upgraded, however, they look similar to the ones that are already in use. Bank of Burundi.
And that is the end of international news. Business news follows shortly after the break.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
To be rich, I have to be a business person.
It's not an easy road at all.
People need to understand. You must quickly think, how cost effective are you going to be?
Business acts as a way in which it can bridge that gap.
Business Edition will keep you informed on latest developments in the financial sector, extractive industry, tourism, agriculture, energy, construction, and so much more. Need entrepreneurs who create employment opportunities? Watch Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
In business news tonight, Tanzania Trade Development Authority TanTrade has asked district and regional trade officers as well as cultural officers to have the right statistics of food harvested in their areas, so that to enable authorities to have accurate statistics on food surplus that is available, so as to find markets for them outside the country.
There is trade officers, registrar of cooperatives, agricultural officer. In our analysis, we have realized that everyone has their own job descriptions, who are not willing to share with the rest of their colleagues. In that case, the trade officers who are responsible for collecting taxes, it's best that they will cooperate with other stakeholders in order to set common grounds. Farmers have huge production capacities. That is why production statistics have been on the rise each year. These are results of good investments that are being done. However, through SAG courts in the Southern Corridor, has contributed in sensitization of using agricultural inputs and fertilizers.
The Tobacco Board in the country has announced the presence of middlemen in the tobacco harvest from outside the country who are in Kahama and begin purchasing the harvest illegally, directing all district commissioners in areas where the harvests are farmed to prevent this.
The number of middlemen who intend to buy tobacco directly from farmers is on the rise.
I know that the Defense and Safety Committee is under the leadership of the Regional Commissioner as well as the District Commissioner. Please do intervene to help us by using the relevant organs to rescue this situation. I would like to call on tobacco buyers to be fair to farmers because farmers use many months with a lot of investments. There are some people who have had bad intentions for farmers and cooperatives by lowering standards of quality of tobacco so that they can buy them at lower costs.
Mineral traders working with various stakeholders in Katavi region have conducted peaceful protests in celebrating the opening of a regional minerals market in Mpanda Municipal, which is part of helping mineral traders increase their income, will also prevent smuggling of minerals to neighbors Burundi and DRC.
The price that I got today, in which royalties have not yet been deducted, I've saved 128,000 shillings. This shows that this procedure is a good one. It is our expectations that as the government, there shall not be black market minerals anymore. Mineral traders will have to trade at the legal market, which will be operating every day under tight security.
And that is the end of business news. Sports news follows shortly after the break.
Hi, my name is Kotaro Tokuda. What's up? My name is Sean Garnier.
I'm John Barnes from Liverpool Football Club. The hip, hop, a hip, the hip, hip, hop. You don't stop the rockin' to the bang bang boogie. Say up, jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat. Now what you hear?
I'm watching Sports Gazette. I'm watching Sports Gazette.
And you're watching Sports Gazette
with Sebastian.
With Sebastian.
Peace out.
Yes! And you can also watch Sports Gazette for highlights and interviews regarding sports. Do not miss Sports Gazette every Wednesday at 7 p.m. only on Capital Television.
Welcome back, and in sports news. The Tanzania Mainland Premier League defending champions Simba Sports Club have come from behind to win their Premier League encounter against Mbeya City at the Sokoine Stadium. Mbeya City went ahead through Eid Selemani before Simba equalized through Jonas Mkude's header before Madi Kagere scored the winner. Simba are now 5 points behind leaders Yanga, having played 5 games less than their counterparts. The Young African Sports Club management have been suspended by the death of IPP, have been saddened rather by the death of IPP chairman Dr. Reginald Mengi, stressing that his thoughts were essential towards the club's aim of having a different form of management.
He had plans of changing our club into a business form, and now everyone sees the importance of that. It is a good thing to see that someone like him had a vision that today we see it as a good one, and we want to follow it. I would just like to say we have been very saddened.
James Milner has said Liverpool's pedigree of European comebacks provides a hope against Barcelona, although there are no illusions about the difficulty that awaits at Anfield on Tuesday. Here's more on the story.
Liverpool require a monumental victory to salvage ambitions of a second successive Champions League final, having lost 3-0 in the semi-final first leg. Jurgen Klopp cautioned against making mouthy predictions afterwards, admitting the failure to score an away goal amplified Liverpool's problems, and his players were equally circumspect on their chances of recovery. Virgil van Dijk, however, insisted we'll keep believing, and Milner claimed Liverpool's strength of character guarantees a response. The midfielder said club's team would also find inspiration in the club's reputation for defying the odds in European competition.
Kevin De Bruyne will not be available to face Leicester City on Monday in Manchester City's penultimate game of the 2018-2019 Premier League season, Pep Guardiola has confirmed.
The Belgian playmaker has been sidelined with a hamstring injury since he had to be substituted in City's 1-0 league win over Tottenham Hotspur on April 20th. The Sky Blues have subsequently beaten Manchester United and Burnley to regain the initiative in the title race. They may have to beat both Leicester and Brighton and Hove Albion without De Bruyne to win the Premier League, as Guardiola could make no assurances he will return before the end of the season. Fernandinho, meanwhile, is also a doubt to face the Foxes.
And Arsenal rediscovered their verve to give themselves a tantalizing chance of reaching the Europa League final in Baku at the end of May. Attack has to be their best form of defense, and their two shining lights up front delivered to give them a 3-1 advantage to take the Mestalla next week. Here's more on the story.
Each time they were entitled to feel fretful about a 2-1 lead, a scoreline that felt fraught with danger going into the away leg. When Last Bush delivered the extra helping, they required to travel to Spain with more confidence. Arsenal's mission for this season was always about getting back into the Champions League by any means possible, and after dismal weeks spent stumbling through 3 Premier League defeats with no redeeming features, Europe arrived with an extra frisson of pressure and possibility. If recent tumbles taught Arsenal anything, it is that they may as well throw caution to the attacking wings because, well, they certainly cannot rely on trying to be cautious.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. Thank you for watching and good night.